You ever wonder why cars come with backup cameras but not in the front? That's a great question. When I'm reversing the car, I see exactly what's behind me and I could make sure I don't hit anything. What about the front? So before you run anything over, we have the solution. The front camera and the front camera adapter by BeatSonic. It's plug and play install, easily reversible as well. And you'll also be utilizing your factory screen to see the front camera view in addition to your factory backup camera without sacrificing any of your factory functions. It's gonna work just like how it came from the factory. Now, let me show you how all this installs with our amazing team, Eric and Ben, that's gonna walk you through the whole entire process.
Alrighty guys, we're gonna install the front camera, 2025 6 Camry, same thing. We're gonna mount it right here. So you're gonna keep the front license plate on as required by California state law. Now, if you are a rule breaker, you can put it a little bit higher. It's gonna be a flipped orientation and we're gonna go ahead and stick it right there, trim it with a Dremel, you know the drill. And once we get all the routing done, as you've seen in other videos, kind of hugging all of like the factory wires and wire looms, the grommet is actually located, if you look straight, back there. We tried to take off this cover. You can't access it from the back. You'd have to remove this whole metal, leads to the suspension. We don't want to do that. So I'm just going to take my fat hand, reach it in there, and we'll work some magic with it, all right? All right, so basically all we did is we just trimmed off the backside of this bracket a little bit. The reason why we did that is since it's going into a Camry, the grille is gonna look very similar to the Sienna. So we got this right down the middle of the emblem. We have this right here. We don't like that. So we went ahead and cut, we made a Dremel just so that it could sit more flush on the inside so the camera's not poking out too much. Otherwise, you know, you might get like half the surface for the adhesive. Now, we'll poke through the driver's side. So to access it, because the spot is a little bit small, what we're gonna do is we're actually go into it from this side. I know this side isn't normally really big to pull the connector all the way through and through, but the solution is once this comes off, then I could feed it through and through. Let me show you what I mean. All right, right behind this white here, this is part of the suspension. Literally right behind it, you'll see the rubber back there. It is a little bit tight of a squeeze for your hands, but I can manage. I'm gonna get it through. I'm gonna feed this through slowly. Just use your fingers, keep doing this kind of type motion, and then it should feed through eventually. And then once I pull it in from the inside, I'll pull this all the way through. With that, that should do it. To do for the process of the routing, we routed it from the grommet. We went underneath the main relay fuse. What I'll probably do is I might get a 10mm and loosen that up just so I can lift this and tuck the wires underneath that so I could have it enter out from the bottom. Make sure you're very careful putting it back on. Very important, guys. If you don't turn it about 2-3 times and before letting go and making sure you secure it, it could fall off. Now that the cabling goes down here, we'll keep feeding it underneath all of the main wires, and then we'll have it exit down here, and most likely we'll bundle up the rest of the excess wires and kind of stick it underneath this relay fuse box. So we'll leave that here for now. All right, and then let's mount the camera. Now for the camera, when you take it off, especially if you're gonna do any mounting or something, it's pretty important. You wanna mark with tape or something the top side when you mount it back on, just because when you do mount it back on, you need to know which side is up. Otherwise your camera obviously will be upside down. All right, so when we tested it, it is still kind of flush here. These two front protruding parts of our bracket does stick out a little bit. So just to make it a lot more clean, I am gonna trim off again, just to make sure it's a completely flat surface. We'll go ahead and alcohol prep our surfaces now. And then once this dries out, this is the bottom side. So I know there's some raw metal over there that we're gonna stick this adhesive on there, so don't worry about it. Now that we have a good amount of the adhesive off, we'll use these lines down here as guidelines, and then we'll see if Ben wants us to make any adjustments, but let's just keep that in there so we can route it. Don't tug too much, obviously. You wanna make sure there's enough slack for them to kind of point the camera up and down. First zip tie is going straight down the center of where the wire looms are. There's a big cluster right here. This lifts up, there's electric tape there, telltale sign. Now that we feed that through, we'll go around the horn and we'll go behind it. It should be flexible enough for us to pass the wire through and go straight past the radiator. Then I'm thinking, we'll tie the first one here, the second one here, do the third one on the inside. Now that we met right here, we are actually gonna have this connected. We're gonna insulate all this. And sometimes he says, oh, maybe he wants to change out the camera. I'm gonna have actually everything assembled and tucked in down here, a little bit above the fender liner. I'll get a long zip tie and then I'll actually tie it to the relay hose here, fuse here. Now, just to give you a quick rundown, right after the front camera, you're gonna go straight back. You're gonna notice a lot of foam bars, a lot of metal, crash beams and stuff in the way. Once you get your hand through, there's about this much of an opening where you could actually feed your hand through. And from the other side of the vehicle, when you're going like this, go ahead and shove the wires in. You'll be able to grab it with your fingers. Once you pull it up, straight up, the first set of wire looms that are gonna be visible. I did the first tie here, right where it goes straight up from the camera. Of course, we give it a little bit of extra slack because in case they want to move the camera up and down. We tied the second one right to the center where it kind of meets in like the highway intersection looking part. One right on the right side of the horn. Then when we go underneath, past this little plastic piece next to the radiator, it sticks out and there's this other wire. I believe this is actually for the hood latch. We went ahead and tied it on there just because there's a natural wire going that way. One wire that goes right underneath here. And this is where we actually grab the bundle of it that you could actually see through this hole. The rest of that, we removed the 10mm on this relay fuse just to tuck the wire underneath. And then we ran it all the way to the grommet, hugging the right side of the suspension.
Alrighty guys, first things first, before we go ahead and begin the installation and removal of the factory head unit, let's go ahead and actually remove this panel piece here. And the reason why we're doing that is because we are first going to be routing the camera button into the factory blank here. So grab a thin plastic panel removal tool. Let's go ahead and stick it in here and pry it out like so. Now listen up, this is very, very important. This whole side panel piece here, you think that this vent cover here is two pieces, but it is actually one piece. It is the same piece along with this piece, okay? So don't just pry here and, you know, try and make this come out first, and that way it all comes off as one piece, like so, okay? Now we can kind of leave this here for now, and let's go ahead and remove this kick panel here. Let's go ahead and pull up on it, it's just being held in by clips. Next, we need to remove this panel here. There is a screw right here where my finger is. If you guys are working with any car with this panel, you'll always know that there's usually some type of screw here. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And from here, this is being held in by clips. It's going to give it a good firm pull. That's just being held in by that one clip, okay? Then you have access to remove this panel here, like so. Just pull it straight out. Okay, up next, we'll go ahead and pull this panel straight out towards you. We'll just kind of have it hanging out like so. And then you'll want to go ahead and remove this clip here. You can kind of just push it outwards like so, and it should pop out the factory blank, okay? Alrighty guys, here we have our CS15 camera selector. Inside you'll find the instructions manual, main wiring harness here, and here's what our OEM button switch looks like. It's very nice and OEM. Alright, so after removing the wire loom, there is a yellow and black wire. This is mainly used for illumination purposes, but the customer opted out of it, so we're just gonna go ahead and electric tape it up. Alright, after wrapping it up, listen up, this is very, very important. You would kind of just want to put in the camera first, but obviously you can't, so you can route the wire inward first, like so. That way you don't forget to do it later. Personally, I like to keep the connector already in, so that way it's always in and you'll never forget it. Push that in, and that's what it looks like. It's nice and OEM. It's like it pretty much came from factory. And our objective here is, once the front camera is also routed in, we'll also need to route the front camera wiring, as well as this wire button here, the wire all the way from here to the factory head unit here. But now let's go ahead and work on the factory head unit. All right guys, next let's go ahead and remove this factory cover here. You can kind of just use your hands with it, but be very, very gentle and just pull it straight out towards you, just being held in by clips, and just work your way around. All right, and it should come off like so, just as one big whole piece, okay? Okay guys, up next we'll remove this whole panel piece here. And once this whole thing is off, you can kind of use your hands here and just pull it straight out towards you, like so. And again, this is just being held in by clips. Next, let's remove this climate control panel here, and the exact same thing. Just kind of get your hands behind there and pull it straight out towards you. Okay, just being held in by clips. And this panel here, where your start stop button will also come off. And if you take a look back here, there is a connector here. We'll just go ahead and undo that. And there is this little clip here we'll also remove. All right, and this clip is best removed with a clip removal tool. Kind of looks like this. Kind of has like two prongs on each side. And then there is also this additional gray connector here. Remove that right here. This here will remove the connector here. That way we can remove this panel as well. All right guys, and removing the climate control panel will allow us to see the 4 10mm bolts. So there's going to be one here, one here, one here, and one here. Next, let's grab a thick blanket or towel and let's go ahead and put it right on top of the shift lever here. So that way it'll take up this space here, and when we remove the radio, it'll sit on that nice soft towel. And just be wary that this whole plastic panel piece here will also come out with it. That's totally okay. Just be very, very careful of the hooks on the bottom, as I mentioned, okay? Now listen up guys, this is very, very important, okay? Take a second, grab your phone, take a picture of all the factory connectors to see where they exactly were. So that way, when you're reassembling everything, you know exactly where they go. I'm just gonna remove these top telematics as they are kind of in the way, and make sure, again, you reinstall every single factory connector. So that's why I really suggest that you take a picture of where all the factory connectors go. And that way you don't freak out when something's missing or something like that happens, you know what to refer to. I'm actually gonna remove these black and brown connector here as well. I'm also gonna remove this green one here. Well, and the connector we're gonna be using is this gray one here and this black one here, okay? Now I wanna reiterate again that your connector color may be different. I'm just referring to the color in today's video, so that way you guys get a visual representation of what they are. But it's gonna be this 28 pin connector and this black connector, which is a 30 pin connector here, right behind the factory radio. Actually, you know what? I think it's just better if we remove the entire radio, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do so now. But if you guys are gonna be removing the radio like we are today as well, as mentioned again, and I cannot reiterate this enough, take a picture of where all the factory connections go, so that way you know exactly where each connection goes, what's empty behind the factory radio, and things like that, okay? So if you guys are ever looking at the factory radio, it's gonna be this connector here, and this connector here that our CS15 harness goes into. This is gonna be connector A, and this is gonna be connector B. Okay guys, so here we have our main wiring harness here, and this is gonna be connector A and connector B. Make sure when you guys are connecting connector A and connector B back to the factory wiring harness, it is straight, not bent. Otherwise, you might damage these pins. You might have some Bluetooth error issues. You might have some audio issues, things like that. If that ever happens, remove these two connectors. Double check that these pins are straight. If they're not straight, just go ahead and grab a thin flathead screwdriver and do your best to go ahead and pry them straight, okay? And we have this little wiring harness here with a RCA cable and an additional connector here. What this connects to is the CS15 option harness, and this pretty much provides the aftermarket camera a power source as well as a ground, as well as having a secondary camera input. We won't be using that today. We'll actually be using this RCA input instead. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to connect these. This additional connector pretty much just connects to the option harness here. And then from here, this main connector connects to our CS15 module here on this side, like so. And SW stands for the camera switch, which we will need to route from our button that we just routed from the driver's side all the way to the factory head unit, okay? All right guys, so it looks like Eric has pierced the firewall through with the front camera, and with our BCAM13, this needs to connect to wherever he routed it and pierced it right down there. And at the other end of this, there is 3 cables. It's gonna be the front camera's power, ground, as well as the RCA video signal, okay? These 3 stay up here, so we need to actually route the other side. So the camera connector, this side, straight down into the driver's side footwell, connect it there, and then we'll tidy that space up after, so that way there's no loose wires. But we'll also need to route the front camera button wire from underneath there all the way to the factory head unit side, okay? So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so since we're gonna be working with this under tray panel located here, let's go ahead and actually remove this under tray panel. So there's gonna be 1 screw here and 1 screw over here. And from here, it's just being held in by clips. So if you take a look here, there's a clip here, there's a clip here. And from here, you can kind of just leave this panel hanging out like this because we don't really need to do anything with it. But besides routing our cables and stuff like that, okay? Okay, and then from here is the BCAM13 camera wire here, along with the extension. Now you'll need to go ahead and connect these 2 together. And our next objective is routing the power, ground, and RCA, as well as the front camera button wire underneath the steering column here. Make sure it's all nice and tidy. And we're gonna route these 3 cables all the way to the factory head unit. All right guys, so now I have the RCA, power, and ground routed up here, as well as the front camera switch button. We can now go ahead and tidy up and reverse order everything we just did right down here, because now we're focusing on the head unit. So let's go ahead and wrap this up and tidy it up. All right, now that the power and ground are connected with the option harness, let's go ahead and connect the front camera RCA. And this actually goes, again, the CS module harness is RCA, not the option harness RCA. You can use a secondary camera input if you want, but we won't be using that today. And we'll clip this in here like so, which is the option harness. And then we'll grab our front camera button, and this will go into SW slot here, like so. Okay, and this is what our wiring harness kind of looks like. And make sure you guys zip tie everything up and keep it all clean. I do highly recommend you electric tape these RCA jacks together. That way they don't get loose over time. If you're not using the secondary camera input from the option harness here, just go ahead and zip tie it or electric tape it as well, and just go ahead and make sure it's tucked away. Now, if you take a look in this panel here, there's this kind of cupboard here. We're actually going to be mounting the CS15 right on top, right here, with some double-sided tape that's included. And we'll have the wiring harnesses tucked away in this quarter cavity here. All right, guys, if you guys took that photo, refer back to it, but let's go ahead and reverse order everything we just did. But I will show you where connector A goes. So this is gonna be connector A here. It's gonna connect here like so. And make sure when you're pushing it in, you hear it click, okay? Perfect. This is gonna be connector B. Perfect. And that's it. This is all our wiring harnesses uses from the CS15. The rest is all just factory harnesses. So let's go and put everything back and show you guys how it works.
All right, our team just finished installing our front camera adapter paired with our front camera, and let me show you how everything works. And with your vehicle on, you'll notice that there is nothing different about your car. And the only thing you'll notice that's different is actually this button here on the left. It says camera. And once you press it once, you'll get that front view camera to see exactly the area where you can't see from your front windshield. You press it again and it shows you the factory native screen. And this adapter here actually has the ability to turn on the factory backup camera while you're driving with the second button press. And at the same time, we can also program it so that the front camera turns on automatically when your car slows down to the speed of under 6 miles per hour. So let's get that set up for you right now. So press and hold the camera, turn on the car. And right now, it is blinking red, slow blink. Now we got the slow blink green. So once you let it go, you'll see that single blink. That means it's on the default mode, mode 1. And if you press it one more time, you'll see the blinking change from 1 to 2 blinks. And once you confirm that, push and hold. And you'll see series of really fast blinks, and that confirms that you saved your setting. So we got our mode B automatic front camera turn on enabled. Now we will enable the second function, which is going to be mode D, backup camera push to view. We are going to push and hold the button, turn on the car. We're gonna wait until the blinking becomes rapid green flash. So right now it's slow blinking red. Okay, now slow blinking green. And then rapid red. And then rapid green. Just let go. Right now we see it blinking one short blink. So just gonna just tap it once. Now we see it blink twice. And that is the setting we would like. So we push and hold once again. And the new setting is saved. And let me jump back to the backup screen again. This view can be turned on at any time while you're driving. It becomes pretty useful when you're driving and your back seat is just filled with a lot of stuff. You just went on a big shopping spree at Costco. Can't see through the rearview mirror. So press this, press the button twice, and now you can see what's behind you. That concludes our video today. Our team did an amazing job mounting and installing our front camera with our adapter. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. We're very happy to answer all of your questions. And you can also email us at info@bsonicusa.com. And if you haven't yet helped our channel, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It really helps us out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys on the next video.